Every filmmaker always have this question, why the movies are shot in 8K and 4K, and when we see them as 1080p, why they still have that 4K look? Why it has that sharpness and those details what actually we see in 8K and 4K? Everyone who shoots in 4K or 8K use the method known as downsampling, which means you actually shoot in a big frame such as 4K and 8K, and then you downsample it to 1080 or 720, such as you can downsample 8K to 4K or even into 1080p, but you will still have that 8K look. Today I'm going to show you what are the benefits of doing downsampling and why we should do it. Hello everyone, welcome to Drone Footages. Today I'm gonna show you what is downsampling and why it is done. We will do a side-by-side comparison between a 4K downsample to 1080p and shooting in actual 1080p, which I will do in a minute. All the shots which I'm gonna show you were shot in 12 Pro Max. My shots were edited using Premiere Pro and I used the same color correction on both of my shots. Since I did not have two cameras, so I shot one after the other. First I shot 4K and then I did 1080p. I tried doing them as perfect as possible, but if you see any errors, please let me know in the comments. Before getting into the video, I'm gonna tell you what is downsampling. Downsampling is when you shoot in 8K or 4K and you compress it to 1080p or 720p. Such as you can downsample 8K to 4K, and from 4K to 1080p you can combine 4 pixel into 1 pixel, which will give you the same details and the sharpness which you will see in 4K. When you use 1080p, you have a lot of limitations. You cannot zoom in the video because when you zoom it, you see that noise. But when you shoot in 4K and downsample it to 1080, because you shot in 4K, you can zoom it, you can crop it, you can do whatever in post-production. That's why Hollywood movies are shot in 8K and they are then downsampled to 4K. They downsample the footage because then they have a lot of control with the video in post-production. They can zoom, they can crop, or they can do anything because it's shot in 8K, and when compressed to 1080p you will still have that 8K look. That is why most of the YouTubers such as Linus Tech Tip and MKBHD shoot in 8K red and they then downsample it to 1080 or 4K, which make their videos look more detailed and crisp. I'm gonna show you my shots which I shot using my phone, and we're gonna do a side-by-side comparison. Let's get into it. Let's get into the videos and analyze those. On the left side, I have 4K downsampled to 1080p, and on the right side, I have actual 1080p. In the first shot, I just used my phone and just took a shot of this grass and a cone. You can clearly see if I zoom in into that tree and onto the cone, if you compare both of the shots, you can clearly see that on the left side, we have the grass which is way more sharper as compared to 1080p. In this next shot, I'm just walking on a sidewalk. You can see the grass and the fence and the houses. You can see how much detail the left side footage is. If you can see the crosswalk, you can see these little pebbles and you can see the sharpness, but on the right side you can see that there is very less, it looks a little bit blurred. Also the house, if you will have a close look on the houses, you can see the windows are much more better in the left side compared to right side. On right side, those are more blurred. Also, you can see the sky. In the right side, the sky is overexposed, but on the left side, you can clearly see the details in the sky. Here I have a car scene. I am just taking a little walk around the car, and you can see I have this water droplets on the car. On the left side, if you'll have a close look on the car's hood, you can see those droplets. However, on the right side, you can see them, but those are just blurred. They don't have that crisp look. The next one is my favorite shot. You can see the sign says E47th Avenue. If you will have a close look on the sign, if I zoom into that sign, you can clearly read E47th Avenue on the left side, but on the right side, it's a little bit blurred. Also, when sun enters our scene, on the right side, we lose a lot of details because of that high exposure. But on the left side, we don't lose any details. You can clearly see everything. In this shot, we have fire hydrant. On the left side, if you will see, we have some little bit of rust on that fire hydrant. On the right side, we can also see that there is rust, but compared to the left side and the right side, the rust is a little bit blurred on the right side. Also, if we zoom into the license plate of that car, On the left side, you can see the details are maintained, but on the right side, we can still read the numbers, but if you will see, those numbers are a little bit blurred. Also, if we have a close look on my shadow, on the left side, you can see my shadow has very sharp edges. It looks natural, but on the right side, it's blurred. On the next shot, you can clearly see the difference between a 4K downsample to 1080p and actual 1080p. On the left side, if you will see the hairs, you can clearly see the hairs. Those have very good details. Those are maintained very perfectly. But on the right side, you can see those are a little bit blurred. Also, if you will focus on the beard, on the left side, you can see the sharpness. You can see the skin. If I focus on the acnes, you can see the details on the left side, but on the right side, it's just blurred. At the end, I would like to say that when a 4K is actually downscaled to 1080p, it has more details and it's more sharp as compared to actual 1080p. At the end, it's on you if you want to shot a 1080p, but if you have option of 4K, I would rather say shoot in 4K and just downscale it to 1080p if you want to make your final output really better and crisp.